Hey guys, welcome to Internal Insights, the podcast where we get cozy and just kind of talk about what's been on my mind the past week. It's actually been less than a week than the last time that I filmed. I filmed, I believe, last Tuesday, and it is the following Sunday. But I feel like a lot's happened. I feel like there's been a lot on my mind. I've been extremely creative and vocal about things the past week. And by vocal, I mean willing to share what's in my mind and some creative projects. And so I'm feeling pretty inspired to do the podcast today. And I don't work tomorrow. So you guys get Weekend Lydia today. Tomorrow's Monday, but I have it off. So yeah, you get fun party Lydia tonight. I've had a really weird schedule this past week. I worked Sunday through Wednesday, and then I had Thursday off, and then I worked Friday, and then I had Saturday off, and I worked today, and now I have tomorrow off. So it's different every week now that my the days that I've made myself available are wider. So my schedule's never consistent, which kind of drives me crazy, but doesn't matter because we have tomorrow off, and I'm super excited. I've been really enjoying my days off. Been trying to follow what my body wants to do, move the body when it wants movement, lay on the couch when it wants to lay on the couch, write in my journal, do some creative projects. So I'm feeling good. Honestly, I've been in a pretty good mood. Today was the first day where I was kind of not in a good mood, which is odd because I wasn't having a very good time last time I spoke to you guys. So maybe that's part of it. Not that it's your fault. I think my brain just starts to, when I know I'm going to film a podcast, it starts to think about the things I want to talk about over and over again and be like, well, what could you say here? How could you make this longer? Or is 3 talking points enough? What if this one only lasts 10 minutes? Can it be a whole YouTube video? Like, I start to run a little crazy with the things that I want to talk about in the podcast. So I need to stop that. Is where I'm going with that, because that is not the point of this. The point of this is for me to relax and kind of verbally process with you guys what's going on in my world, in my head, what's been important to me the past week. Once this podcast gets bigger, like, obviously I would love to hear about other people's opinions. If I don't know, I guess I'm looking for the vibe check. Like, has everybody been feeling this? Has anybody experienced this? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for community. That seems to be a super common theme in my life recently. I had a super big change of heart at the end of 2025, where, not even a change of heart, because I can't even say that community hasn't always been important to me, and having people in my life, because I think, or maybe I just decided that it's a priority now, and I put a label on what I was feeling, because I'm definitely somebody who likes to have friends over. I like to host. I like to go give cookies to my neighbors. I think the perfect version of me would go pick up trash around the neighborhood and help my elderly neighbors with their paperwork, but we're not there yet. Yeah, I definitely value family a lot too, and like spending time with my family and making sure I have those healthy bonds, not only with my family, but with my boyfriend's family. And I think all of those things combined led its way to me being like, maybe I crave community. Not that that's revolutionary. I think pretty much every human on the planet does, because that's how we survived for so many years, was community. But I think putting a name on it really helped me decide that that's what I want. And I think that's something that I want to leak into the internet side of me, because for a long time I feel like this was something that it was like I produce and people watch. And I had a hard time wrapping my head around how the internet could be a community, because I guess I haven't felt like I was part of a community on the internet yet, which is true and not true. I'm like trying to think of examples, but I can't really. At least not ones where I felt like I was part of. Actually, it's not even true. Okay, this is gonna be so niche. There was a website when I was like fifth and sixth grade, and I think a friend introduced it to me, but it was called Quotev, like Quotev, and you could take and create quizzes. You could write and read stories. People would like deck out their uh, profile pages, like really customize. There was also a chat feature, I believe, and there was like huge One Direction fan base on this website, which is why my friend got into it, I think, and what initially drew me to this. But yeah, like this was my introduction to fan fiction. And so I was like writing fan fiction, I was writing original stories. My parents bought me a laptop for Christmas because I was so into writing that they wanted to like give me something that was my own, so I wasn't on the family computer all the time typing up my stories. So yes, I loved that, and it definitely felt like there was a community on there. Like we all felt like we were very on the same page, helping each other out, answering questions, reading each other's stuff, taking each other's quizzes, and it was also just fun. So that I think would be an example of finding community online. But I feel like I feel like I don't get the response that I want when I leave comments on social media. Like it feels very often feels like a very one note response. Like it doesn't always feel like it's something that somebody read and like internalized and then gave me a response. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here. I was looking for like a good solid few minutes for this toy that my daughter has, and it's up on the mantle. And I wouldn't look there because she's not 5 feet tall, so she can't put toys up there. But one of the adults in the house must have put it up there, and that's why I couldn't see it. Anyways, back on track. Yeah, I feel like I want to fill that gap in my life a little bit. Like I've decided I'm just gonna take the reins on that and try to cultivate. Or there's even creators that I really love, and I don't participate in the community because I am like scared, or mostly just scared. I'm scared of rejection. I'm scared of saying the wrong thing or not being cool enough. Here we go again with me thinking I'm not cool enough. But anyways, I guess I'm here to fill the gap. And I forget what the original point of all this was. But maybe I was talking about the podcast and what I want it to be. When I was editing my last video this past time, there was a part where I was talking about something. I think I was talking about the tarot card, and I totally got off track, lost my point, and I'm literally sitting there in the video being like, I can't keep doing this. I cannot keep losing my train of thought like this. Because I don't really do that in real life. I wouldn't say I never do it, but it's not like where I have to sit there and be like, what was I talking about? Like sometimes I feel like I get on camera and I black out. I don't know how to talk on camera yet. I don't think. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting used to it, I hope. I always think it's really bad, and then I do the editing and it's pretty much fine for the most part. There's some things I have to edit out, obviously, and I think editing is something now that I am getting more comfortable with just like the basics of turning the camera on and talking to the camera. I think I do want to get a little better at editing. And sometimes it is weird for me to just like stare into the camera, but that's what you're supposed to do, I think. But like when I'm talking to people, and this is probably just the ADHD in me, I am looking around, I'm like looking down at my hands, I'm drinking water. I actually am thirsty though. So yeah, it feels a little unnatural because I don't even do that when I'm talking to a person. So I'm gonna be messing with my hair a lot. I'm having a bad hair day. I got a haircut on Thursday and it looked really good on Thursday. It looked really good the next day after I washed it. Honestly, it looked amazing yesterday. Second day hair. I wash my hair every other day. And it looked really good yesterday. And then today, and I watched it last night. And so I don't know. I don't know if I felt like I was in a rush this morning for work, or it just feels like too poofy for the length right now. And I don't think my hair is appreciating the weather change that's been happening. It was almost 70 degrees yesterday. It was sunny. There was like a light breeze. It was beautiful yesterday. I sat outside and made myself some tea and worked on my tarot reading thing that I'm doing for my Substack, and wrote in my journal, took my notes. It was so lovely. And then today it's pouring rain, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining about the weather, but my hair is, I think, because I don't know if it's like the humidity, it's just not liking it. Because I think my instinct with this would be put more like oil in it, but I don't know if that's gonna help, because I don't know. I think it has too much. If it's the humidity, like it has too much moisture in it, I guess. I don't know. I have struggled with my hair for a long time. It's been a little better because apparently my hair is low porosity, so I've been treating it as such, or trying to, but they tell you to do all these things, like get a hair mask, get a clarifying shampoo. Like, I'm broke. I can't afford to have 2 different kinds of shampoo. What are you talking about? So I have my one shampoo that I like, and it does a pretty good job. Sometimes I have to go in twice with it. And then I have a conditioner that I love. I think I've actually talked about it on the channel before. But it is super slippery, and my comb glides right through it. And it seems to moisturize my hair pretty good. And it washes out so easy, because that was the problem I was having, was getting conditioner, feeling like I had the conditioner washed out of my hair completely. But this one's really good. So I'll link that video down below. It's a Shea Moisture conditioner, and I think it has like fig in it or something. But yeah, there I am, getting off track again. I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. But yeah. Oh, okay. I kind of remember what I was saying. It was, yeah, beautiful yesterday. Rainy, gloomy. It's been pouring. There was even some hail. There's all the beautiful trickling noises going on outside. I have all the lights off in the house except for 3. This one, my pantry lights, and the lamp in my bedroom. And yeah, so it's super ominous and dark, and ominous isn't the word I'm looking for. So yeah, super cozy in here right now. I also rearranged a bunch yesterday. My daughter just like hit a new level. She's almost 2, so that tracks. She's like in the home stretch of about to turn 2, and she just needed a little bit of a refresh, a little bit of an upgrade. She brings pretty much everything out to the living room, so her bedroom's become more of like a chill spot. Maybe she wants to go independently play, she'll go in there. Maybe, I don't know, she's just like getting dressed. Like, it feels more like maintenance in her room rather than play. Like, she needs alone time, she needs to sleep, she needs to get dressed, she needs to poop. Things like that. So I flipped some stuff around. So like, pretty much I would say 80% of her toys are out here in the living room now. And I brought the toy organizer out, and I made the toy organizer organize, because it's set up like it's got a stuffed animal thing, and it's got 3 shelves that I think you're supposed to put individual toys on, but she just doesn't. There's so much going on, she doesn't care about that. So I put like some bigger toys and some storage bin stuff on there, and then yeah, everything else is kind of just random. But we have 2 bookshelves attached to our fireplace in this house. So she's got a side for her, and then we have our own side. And my mother-in-law came over yesterday, and we were talking about books, and it's so embarrassing because I could probably count them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It's hard to tell which ones are mine and which ones my boyfriend accumulated 6, 7. Let's go like 7 to 10. I have like 7 to 10 books, and then I have some old journals, and then I have all my tarot and oracle decks. So yeah, I was a little embarrassed because I have like, I don't know. There's literally like a whole empty shelf, and none of the shelves are filled past the midpoint. So I got to get more books, is what I'm hearing. But anyways, I rearranged yesterday. It looks really good in here. Feeling pretty positive. We also put up her mirror and a little hook, like it's like a flower. It's got a hook for like her jackets. She's got a backpack. She has like a play purse. We put that up. I could probably insert a picture of it. Honestly, it's really cute. But yeah, I'm feeling good about the house. Feeling good about being home on this cozy rainy night with all my lights off in the house. And yeah, I guess we can get into a planned topic. God knows how long I've been talking about the random stuff that was probably just in my head the last 30 minutes. I'm just like overstimulated today. And I can think of a few reasons why. I worked this morning and was having a bad hair day, so that's one thing. I had caffeine, which I've been having a lot of caffeine recently, and yeah, I don't know. Nobody's gonna stop me, so I might as well have a cold brew in the morning. And then, so I worked, bad hair day, caffeine. Then my daughter only took half of her nap today. Normally she takes about a 2-hour nap. It was only 1 hour, and I edited the podcast episode that's coming out in a few days. So I listened to it at 2 times speed because I don't want to be there forever. Like, it still took me like 45 minutes to edit it on 2 times speed, which isn't that crazy. But I don't want to be sitting there listening to myself all day. So I listened to that, and my voice gets squeaky, and that sucks. And then, what else? Yeah, half the nap. And I don't know. I really wanted to work out today, and my daughter just like wasn't feeling doing her own thing when I did that. And so I was doing like stopping, and we were playing together and like doing comfort and stuff because she was tired. She only had half a nap. So I don't know. That was my bad. I probably should have waited on that a little bit. But yeah, so that sucked. And then I don't know, it's been raining, so there's just been like the constant noise. I threw my back out, probably working out. Yeah, just like a lot. I took an ibuprofen, and I have the heating pad on it right now. I throw my back out like at least once a month, but definitely more than that. Like I have called out of work in the past 6 months for throwing my back out. I'm hypermobile, so it'll just slide back in tonight, and it'll still hurt a little bit, but it'll be fine. So yeah, so I'm in pain. My daughter had kind of a bad day, and of course, like, I want to fix it. And I was having a bad hair day, and there's no sunshine. So I've just been having kind of like just like feel like scratchy in my head. And then, like I said earlier, I just am constantly thinking about this all day once I decide to record. So I don't know what my deal is with that. I gotta figure that out. But yeah, let's get into something kind of related to what I just said about how I should have waited because my daughter was having a hard time. I have been seeing some discourse on the internet, and I have personal experience with this as a parent, where somebody will post something either in relation to this topic or not and get comments about it. And that topic is having kids in your, we'll go early 20s. I know people have kids younger than that, but that's when I had my child. So early 20s, let's say early 20s, just for the sake of things. People will be like, you're missing out on your 20s. Like, your life's over now that you've had a kid. And I see this a lot in Instagram comments where people are like, 23 is way too young to be having a kid. Your frontal lobe's not even developed. What are you doing? And first of all, the kid's already here. So it doesn't matter. Like, the kid exists, and it has parents who love it. Shut up. I don't know. I don't know it's anybody's, I don't know it's anybody's business. But the thing that always comes along also with, you know, like you're too young is you should be out enjoying your 20s. And I have a big list of problems with this statement because okay, so I got pregnant when I was 21 and I had my daughter when I was 22. So that means I had a newborn when I was 23 ish. I had a newborn when I was 22, and then when she was about 6 months, I guess I was 23. So, yeah, for most of my daughter's life, she has had a 23-year-old mother. So, like, not like terribly young, but still pretty young in the grand scheme of things and like statistically speaking wise, I believe. But yeah, I had my daughter when I was 22. I was pregnant when I was 21. So, uh, and like, I was, oh my God, was I 20? Hang on. I turned 22 like that. So I found out I was pregnant with her in September, and then my birthday's in October. So I was, is that right? No, I found out I was pregnant in August. Oh my God. I don't remember. I got pregnant in August, found out in September, turned 22 that October. So all that to say, I'm a young mom. I'm young and I have a young child. And something I see constantly, and people either hint at or have said directly to my face, is you are missing out on your 20s. And I just wholeheartedly disagree with that. And my first point with that is, what exactly am I missing out on? Because they never say, like, people, they never say anything that I'm not allowed or can't do. The big one I see is travel. People are like, wait, you can't travel. You can't. And I'm like, are you traveling? Like, did you travel a bunch in your 20s? Because I feel like often these people say these things, and I'm like, is that what you think you're supposed to do? Or is that what you did? Like, I don't understand the source, but one is travel, and that's just not true. I think we could easily go somewhere with my daughter. I have never been on a plane. My boyfriend has flown before. So I honestly can't really give my opinion on if that's easy or not. I know there's very polarizing opinions about having babies on planes. But like road trips exist, you know? Trains exist. Like there's no boats exist. I don't know if I'd take my baby on a boat because that seems horrible. But all the rocking and stuff. Okay, and the second one I see the most is partying. And I still party. I still like go out for friends' birthdays. Like I host things sometimes. Like I haven't been to like a bar or a nightclub, but I haven't been to a bar or a nightclub in like 6 or 8 months before I found out I was pregnant. Like that's just not something I do. I guess like maybe I was partying a little bit more, like staying up later, drinking more. But I actually stopped drinking like more. I wouldn't even say regularly, because I wasn't really drinking that often to begin with. Because I found out I had PCOS the July before I found out I was pregnant, so I had cut out alcohol already pretty heavily. Like it's not good for you. And I like every once in a while I do something for a friend's birthday, or I have a glass of wine here or whatever. But for the most part, I already wasn't drinking, and I still party. I smoke pretty much every single day because I see that a lot too, where it's like, you know, weed gets looped into that category as well. But like sue me, I smoke every single day for the most part. So that's like my vice. So I see that. I see travel, I see party, and I also see school, which is an interesting one because if you just do like the basics bachelor situation, you're usually done by 22. And I will say going back to school, it feels like a bigger decision now that I have a child, but I don't see that as a bad thing, and we'll get to that. So yeah, those are probably the top three, and I just can't imagine like why do those things have to happen from 20 to 29. Like, my mom got her bachelor's in her 40s. Back to what I was saying. I had to get up and check on my kiddo, but I think I was saying, like, my mom got her bachelor's. Both of my parents actually went back to school in their 40s and got various certifications and degrees. You can go to school whenever you want. You can go to school when you're 18. You can go to school when you're 65. You can go to school when you're 90. There's no rules. I don't understand why society has these made up rules about like schooling and learning and having new experiences. Like, those things do not stop in your 20s. And I think an argument I see against I forgot about the big one. People telling you you're too financially unstable, or you're just in your 20s. Like, how could you be supporting a child? That's another big one that I see that really peeves me off, because I'm like, girl, I bought a house. Like, I have a house, I have a baby, I still do fun things. Obviously I can afford many luxuries, or and sometimes it's stressful about with money, but yeah, I don't want to see nobody talking down on my budgeting skills because I'm 23 and I have a baby. That is not how we write here. Like, we are financially responsible, and I don't think being 40 or 50, or being like 40 and having children, makes you any more financially responsible. You can have a child at 40 and be $100,000 in debt, and it's like it's such a slap in the face to me, especially when this happens in person, when people are like, you have a kid? Like, they look at me like I've committed a crime and like I shouldn't be doing it, and it's like, the baby, she was coming whether I wanted to or not, like, I knew instantly that that I was keeping this baby. I didn't know what my boyfriend was feeling at the time, but like, I knew instantly that I was keeping the baby, that I was going to be a mom, and that my life was going to be different. But here's the thing, and I think young moms especially need to hear this. My life really isn't that different. Like, it is and it isn't. I think people pity me because they think I have less freedom than I did when I was childless. And the thing is, it's like, I just take my daughter with me. Like, I don't understand. And like, sometimes we do different things. Sometimes we do things she wants to do, like, sometimes I don't want to go play outside. Often I don't want to go play outside, but we do that because it makes her happy. Sometimes I want to go to the thrift store, and sometimes Marcy doesn't want to leave the house. That's my daughter, Marcy. Sometimes Marcy doesn't want to leave the house, but she goes with me, because sometimes I'm on her schedule and sometimes she's on my schedule. And sometimes we do things that we both find joy in. We love the zoo. Like, both of us equally have a blast at the zoo. And so, yeah, I go to the zoo more than I go thrifting now. But like, cool? I don't know. It just perplexes me that people think you can't do fun things anymore once you have children, or it's just so weird to think about it in like a resentful way, where it's like, oh, you must hate your life because your baby keeps you from doing everything. And it's different when they're newborns, and I'm sure I'm gonna feel different about this at every stage of parenting, but there is no world in which I wouldn't want my daughter in my life. Like, I feel like people comment these things and they say these things so I can be like, yeah, having kids is the fucking worst. And it's just not. I really love being a mom, and I love my daughter, and obviously I love my boyfriend too, but I would love being a mom no matter my situation. I think because sharing my life with the person that means the most to me can never be spun as a bad thing. And that's not to say that things are always peachy, because it's just not with anybody that you have long term in your life. Like, things come up and compromises are made, and I just don't know how to dumb it down for people anymore. Like, people who say this to me to my face, where it's like, no, some of us like being parents, and I think you need to get to the, and down to the nitty gritty of why you don't like being a parent if you are a parent who is having a super hard time. Because I do see stuff like that on the internet too, and a lot of the times people's response is, "You had kids too young," and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I do understand that my frontal lobe isn't fully developed, but I also understand that my daughter is so smart and so funny and adventurous and inquisitive, and she has two parents who love her to the ends of the earth. And so I bought her a goddamn house. So I don't really know. I don't know. I'm just not getting what the problem is, because I'm living it and I'm having fun, and I still feel like I have complete control over my life and what I do. And that, again, not to say that it was always this way. Like, when they're a newborn, that's all you're doing is being a parent to a newborn baby. Hang on. Speaking of babies. The poor girl is having a rough night. But yeah, so I don't understand. And I just don't get it, because I don't know. I think me and my boyfriend aren't perfect about it, but like we try to just do things that we want to do. And like I said today, I should have just waited on the workout or not done it at all, even though like that's what I wanted to do, because my daughter was having a harder day. Because like that's what you do for people that you love. And like when I'm having a harder day, sometimes she recognizes that, and we just hang out on the couch and watch a movie. Like, I don't know. It's just a little weird. I don't really get it. But my second big problem with this mindset of having kids in your 20s was like ruining your life and you're missing out. It's from a woman perspective. It's like, okay, so I'm supposed to have fun from 21 to 29, find a dude who can give me children at some point in there, and then just be his wife and devote my entire being to raising his children from the ages of like 30 to 50. No thanks. No, that's not how we're doing it here. That's crazy. And I think, but like that is something that's very rooted in our society. And it wasn't that long ago that like there was propaganda against women voting, of men taking care of their babies and being like, is this what you want your life to look like? You want to take care of your kids? If you let your wife vote, you're going to have to talk to your kids. Like, it was barely 100 years ago that was happening. So I don't think it's that far-fetched to say that this weird mindset of women have to get it all out on the table before they turn 30 is insane. And I think people are just threatened by people being good parents in their 20s. I think my boyfriend's home. Sorry if I get awkward. I get a little shy when I'm talking about doing the podcast. What time is it when I'm doing the podcast with him in the house? But yeah, I don't get it. I will be living my life every goddamn day. And this is kind of morbid, but you know, I lost two of my grandparents when they were in their 60s. So if I waited until I was 40 to have a child, and like my grandmother lived this. She had a child when she was like 41 or 42, and she had horrible dementia at my uncle's wedding, and she passed away before his first child was even born. You know, it's like there are downsides to both sides of the spectrum, and there's plus sides to both sides of the spectrum. And I think people should just be having kids whenever they want. And I don't think it's any coincidence that I'm seeing an influx of this criticism while abortion rights are being stripped away in America. Like, of course they want people to think that like that is your only purpose once you have a baby, and specifically women. But that's just not going to happen. Not going to happen in this house. I have plenty of hobbies. I have plenty of projects, And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just about compromise. And I may have already touched, I'm looking at my notes, I may have already touched on this, but I wrote, the only difference is that I have to think about how that affects the person I love most in this world. And I can't put myself in a headspace where that is a bad thing. I think I said something pretty much word for word about that. But yeah, I would do anything for my daughter. And so I don't know. It just doesn't make me sad to think about making sacrifices. Like I might have to skip a night out if she's sick, or I might have to give up some alone time because she's going through a sleep regression. Like it's just really hard to think about those things as bad things, because like I would do anything for this person. But I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority on that. I guess on a lighter note of all of this, I've been trying something, and this was the thing that I was like, oh, maybe this could be a whole video on its own, but I'm gonna start with this and we'll see how it progresses in my life. But when I got the flu, I obviously wasn't writing any to-do list or doing anything of the sorts in my planner. And then after I started getting better, I just like wasn't really feeling it, like getting back into my planner. And I started using some notes, or like the Notes app feature on my phone, where you can like have a little bubble, and when you click it, it drops to the bottom. And I realized like I was doing a lot in a week, and it was stuff that some stuff I wasn't even tracking, and I was still doing all this stuff. And then something just like clicked inside of me, where I was like, I can do whatever I want all day, even if I work. It doesn't matter who's home or what's happening. I just decided that I was gonna kind of follow my gut on things. And something that I noticed or was catching myself doing was I'd be like, I kind of feel like working out. And then I would like shut that thought down, and I'd be like, well, you can't, because you have to schedule that in. And I was like, and then eventually I started being like, well, no, I don't have to schedule. I can just do it right now. It almost felt like I had to be prepared for it, or like have it scheduled in, because then it wouldn't affect my household as much. And it kind of goes hand in hand with like being a parent and just doing what feels right and like doing whatever, because I think the reason I was stopping myself from doing these things was because they were going to take up time, or like they were good for me, so they had to be super intentional. Like healthy equals intentional. And I don't know, things have been odd in my brain, because like I said, I'm drinking a lot of caffeine, I've been smoking every day, but I've also been working out consistently, stretching consistently. I've been eating really healthy, like getting a lot of vegetables in my diet. I've been sleeping pretty okay. Yeah, so I think I have a real all or nothing mindset when it comes to health, and I'm trying to explore that a little bit, and not only explore that on like the physical health side, but the mental and like productivity health side of things, where I felt like having it all planned out was gonna fix it for me and like create a safety net. But honestly, like I think I've been more productive since I stopped making the to-do list, because I'll be like, I feel like cleaning right now, and I'll clean. Or I feel like rearranging right now, so I did that yesterday. Or I feel like laying on the couch and watching a movie, so I'll lay on the couch. Or like I felt like editing today. Like things are just getting done because I feel like doing them, not because I'm like, well, you edit on Wednesdays, so if you don't get it done then, it's never going to get done. And that, I think the way I was doing it before was really restrictive. And I think I will make a whole video on this, because it feels a little bit bigger than how I'm describing it right now. But it's been really interesting. And I'm, especially this week, because I've really been leaning into it. And I even watched a podcast, I don't know, it would have been like Friday maybe, or listened to a podcast or whatever, where she was talking about how women in the modern age need to listen to their intuition more. And so I've just been giving it a little test run, like feeling out what I want to do next. Each like when I wake up, I'm like, okay, what feels right today? And then kind of going step by step. And just, again, like I have other people in my house and that I have to care about. And I don't know, just kind of seeing where the day takes me. And it's been really nice. Like I had a really good day yesterday. Today was a little bit more hectic, but that's okay. Had a good day I had a pretty good day on Friday. Like just kind of taking it easy instead of putting all this pressure on myself. I'm kind of thinking of this as like my anti to do, because then I don't like wake up and I'm like, well, here's the 7 things that you have to do today, because there's always things that I want to do that get pushed to the side. And I come to find out like I want to do the things that I put imaginary deadlines on myself for. Or sometimes like my boyfriend beats me to it and then I don't, and then it's whatever. It like gets checked off the mental list. Now some things I do write down. Like I need to register to vote. I can't forget that. I wrote it down. And I just can't imagine myself being like, I want to go to the DMV today. It's not gonna happen. So things like that I write down, but for the most part, like I like cleaned the dishwasher the other day. Like just took the dishwasher apart, cleaned it. Um, I did the rearranging yesterday. I've also been giving myself like 10 minutes to clean a room. Like if I feel like a space is bothering me and I want to clean it, I'm like give myself 10 minutes and you'd be surprised what I can get done in 10 minutes. It's been working out pretty well for me, I think. At least for like my standard of cleanliness. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this. I think it'd be fun to take some notes, but I don't know how much pressure I want to put on the anti-pressure thing. But I've also been doing some more creative projects because of this. Like, again, the editing, and I started my Substack, and I've been working on another Substack project, and with that, I was like getting really worried because it's gonna be pick a pile for March. I don't know if any of you watch those like pick a pile tarot things, but it you like pick a pile and you get the cards and they go over it. And so I wanted to do that, but kind of in like the Substack article form, because sometimes processing the cards and then writing about them is a little easier for me. But all that to say, I was like creating an imaginary deadline for myself. I mean, like, you have to get it out by March 1st. And then yesterday while I was doing it, I was like, why? It maybe it's not meant to be seen on March 1st. Like, it will be done when it gets done. And like, obviously I can't get done like March 31st, but if it gets done, like March 4th or March 15th, like it's still well in range. It's a thing that I made up. It doesn't have a deadline. But something like this, I do like to have a deadline on. So I'm just following my gut. I'm really trying to tap into that. And I believe that's what the tower was about that I was seeing a lot, and it's still definitely like a lingering energy. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I do feel like a part of me just like disappeared, like in a good way. Like this thing that was like clutching on to my soul just like, I don't know. I like fed it the right carrot or something. I don't know. It just dissipated all of a sudden. I guess it's a horse that was holding on to my soul. Um, yeah, I've been enjoying my week, honestly, and I hope that continues. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here because that's everything I wanted to talk about. At least that I had fleshed out. I have 2 more topics on here right now. One of them I feel like I can really talk about whenever I want. The other one I tried to talk about in that lost episode of this, where the lost episode of Internal Insights. And it keeps creeping its way back up into my head, and so I think I need to do some journaling about it or some intentional thinking about it. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're having a great Mercury retrograde, doing some reflecting, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.